All right. I think we should be good to go.
All right, so we want to start?
Yeah.
Hi.
I'll just keep it rolling.
Did you want to restart it?
No, it's fine. Editing. I do editing.
This is why you are the sound guy. Because I don't.
That's fair.
Hello all, and welcome back to Tangents on Cracked Spines. It's going to be a little upgraded for Season 6, partly because I now have a co-host.
Hello, my name's Adrian. I'm a musician, audio engineer, he, him pronouns. What are the other things podcast people do? I don't know.
Sure. I think that's a better introduction than I have given anybody about myself.
That's, standard is like, well, there's your problem.
It's fair.
Yeah.
And as he said, he's a sound guy, so he insisted on upgrading the recording quality. Which I'm not mad at.
Yeah, I'm just glad I could help out.
Mm-hmm. I am Frankie. They, them pronouns, now that he's introduced himself that way, and...
Sorry, didn't mean to mix up the formula.
And jack of all trades. Before we get into anything, listener discretion is advised, as I'm bad about using explicatives, and just because something is old does not mean that it is politically correct.
A lot of that stuff just ages like fine milk.
Yeah. So what do we do here on Tangents? We read books that are in the public domain aloud, and go off on ADHD tangents about it. We are restarting Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray, because new setup, new everything. Fresh start. We're also exclusively looking at banned books now that are in the public domain.
Banned books are important.
Mm-hmm. And this one is queer banned book. Mm-hmm. Even more important. So, yeah. Without further ado, let's get into it. So this is The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Barnes & Noble edition with notes. There's lots of notes.
It's got those fancy distressed pages.
It does have fancy distressed pages. Introduction and notes by Camille Cauty, because it's a fancy version of the book that I got off Thrift Books. We are skipping the introduction because it's like 10 pages of the history of Oscar Wilde, which is essentially he was a closeted gay man who then wasn't closeted and wound up in jail for it. And this is pretty much the one thing anybody knows he wrote.
Yep. I just watched something the other day about, how, I'm trying to remember exactly what the situation was, but it was some kind of mixture of he and a reporter kind of outing each other publicly, I think. I could be wrong.
That sounds right, actually. Yeah. I could Google it. I'm not.
But yeah, I feel like it's in character, though.
From what I've gathered, yes. All right. The preface. The artist is the creator of beautiful things. To reveal art and conceal the artist is the art's aim. How many times can you use art in this one sentence? The critic is he who can translate into another manner or a new material his impression of beautiful things. The highest as the lowest form of criticism is a mode of autobiography. Those who find ugly meanings in beautiful things are corrupt without being charming. This is a fault. You may hear some odd sounds because there are as many animals in the house as there are people. And
I'm just hoping the dogs don't hit the microphone, because if they do, it makes a sound and it's real loud.
Well, if it's real loud, that means it'll show up clearly on the editing.
Oh, yeah. I might sample it.
Sounds about right. Those who find beautiful meanings in beautiful things are the cultivated. For these there is hope. They are the elect to whom beautiful things mean only beauty. There is no such thing as a moral or an immoral book. Books are well written or badly written. That is all. The 19th century dislike of realism is the rage of Caliban, seeing his own face in a glass. And the note at the bottom of this is, if you're not aware, Caliban is the monstrous slave in William Shakespeare's play, The Tempest.
Okay.
The 19th century dislike of romanticized... No, it repeats.
It's... I feel like a lot of this is kind of saying the same idea.
Yes, but that actual sentence repeats.
Typo, maybe?
One hell of a typo.
Yeah. Hey, editing is hard.
You volunteered. The moral life of man forms part of the subject matter of the artist, but the morality of art consists in the perfect use of an imperfect medium. No artist desires to prove anything. Even things that are true can be proved. Things that are true are proven? Question mark?
Yeah, I'm not sure. English is confusing.
Yeah, we'll go with that. No artist has ethical sympathies. An ethical sympathy is an artist is an unpardonable mannerism of style. I think there's a reason this is his only well-known book. No artist is ever morbid. The artist can express everything. Thought and language are to the artist instruments of an art. Vice and virtue are the artist's materials for an art. From the point of view of form, the type of all... Please don't.
No.
Puppy.
No, you're on the cables.
No, puppy.
No.
Come back up here.
Oh, you're so close to it. Yep, there he goes. Hitting the mic.
Come on.
I mean, at least it's very easy to spot that. Vice and virtue are from the point of view. The type of all the arts is the art of the musician. Yeah, that's me.
This was suggestive of what Walter Pater, from whom Wilde admired at Oxford, wrote in Studies in the History of the Renaissance. All art constantly aspires towards the condition of music.
I'm not sure if I should feel flattered or insulted.
What, that all art aspires to be music?
Some of it sucks.
So does some music.
Yeah, exactly. It's the duality of musician.
Anyways, all art is at once surface and symbol. Those who go beneath the surface do so at their apparel. Those who read the symbol do so at their peril. It is the spectre and not life that art really mirrors. Diversity of opinion about a work of art shows that the work is new, complex, and vital. When critics disagree, the artist is in accord with himself. We can forgive a man for making a useful thing as long as he does not admire it. The only excuse for making a useless thing is that one admires it intensely. All art is quite useless.
Well, damn.
So much for an artist writing that?
Yeah, I feel like there might be a degree of sarcasm in this, but
It's hard to tell.
yeah.
But honestly, he rambles more than J.R. Tolkien.
Mm-hmm.
J.R. Tolkien. Yeah.
J.R.R.
J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm like, I know that's
Two
wrong.
R's.
2 R's.
I don't know what they stand for, but I know there's 2.
Fair enough. Chapter 1. The studio was filled with the rich odor of roses, and when the light summer wind stirred amid the trees of the garden, there came through the open door the heavy scent of the lilac, or the more delicate perfume of the pink flowering thorn. What? I know it's an unpopular opinion, but lilac is such a strong, terrible smell.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a huge fan.
I hate lilac.
Yeah.
From the corner of the divan... Divan?
Divan?
No, D-I-V-A-N.
Yeah, I don't think I'm old-timey enough to understand that.
Divan of Persian saddlebags, on which he was lying, smoking, as was his custom, innumerable cigarettes, Lord Henry Wotton could just catch the gleam of the honey-sweet and honey-colored blossoms of the laburnum, which is a poisonous shrub, by the way, whose tremulous branches seemed hardly able to bear the burden of a beauty so flame-like as theirs. And now and then, the fantastic shadows of birds in flight flitted across the long trusser silk, which... I'm sorry, did you really have to put in a note of what that silk was a coarse brown silk fabric from India? Was that really a necessary note?
I mean, hey, every note is another credit, so...
Curtains that were stretched in front of the huge window, producing a kind of momentary Japanese effect, and making him think of those pallid, jade-faced painters of Tokyo. Yeah, because that's not... That aged poorly.
I mean, I've definitely heard worse, but...
Yeah.
Not the preferred nomenclature.
No. Also, Tokyo was spelled with an I. Instead of a Y.
Huh.
Who, through the medium of an art that isn't necessarily immobile, seek to convey the sense of swiftness and motion, which is in reference to Japanese design which strongly influenced the aesthetic movement.
Aesthetic.
The sullen murmur of the bees shouldering their way through the long unmown grass, or circling with monotonous insistence round the dusty gilt horns of the straggling woodbine, seemed to make the stillness more oppressive. Okay, you didn't give me a note on that. What the frick is a woodbine?
Like, that's a specific species?
Maybe?
Woodbine.
Bine.
Woodbine?
Yeah.
Oh.
B-I-N-E. I don't know.
I have no clue.
I think the puppy's on my phone.
Mine's on the other side of the room.
Yeah, that's fine.
I forgot to get it.
It's fine. Unmown grass and woodbine seemed to make the stillness more oppressive. The dim roar of London was like the bourdon note of a distant organ. In the center of the room, clamped to an upright easel, stood the full-length portrait of a young man of extraordinary personal beauty, And in front of it, some little distance away, was sitting the artist himself, Basil Hallward, whose sudden disappearance some years ago caused, at the time, such public excitement and gave rise to so many strange conjectures. As someone who has already read this book, that pisses me off. Anyways.
Spoilers.
Spoilers! I mean, how much spoiled can it be? It's like a 100-year-old book.
Yeah, spoilers for this 100-year-old book.
But, like, the books are very different from any movie adaptation.
That's fair.
Of, like, any of the books I've read. Hey!
Oh, no, nope.
You do not need to lick the microphone.
No, I don't think she actually hit it, but we got some real loud...
Come on.
Yep.
Jiminy Christmas.
That hit it.
Up. Don't make me baby gate you out. Look at that face. As the painter looked at the gracious and comely form he had so skillfully mirrored in his art, a smile of pleasure passed across his face, and seemed about to linger there. But he suddenly started up, and, closing his eyes, placed his fingers upon the lids, as though he sought to imprison within his brain some curious dream from which he feared he might awake. "It is your best work, Basil. The best thing you have ever done," said Lord Henry languidly. "You must certainly send it next year to the Grosvenor. The Academy is too large and too vulgar. Whenever I have gone there have been either so many people that I have not been able to see the pictures, which is dreadful, or so many pictures that I have not been able to see the people, which was worse. The Grosvenor is really the only place." One. I don't see. "I don't think I shall send it anywhere," he answered, tossing his head back in that odd way that used to make his friends laugh at him in Oxford. "No, I won't send it anywhere." Lord Henry elevated his eyebrows and looked at him in amazement through the thin blue wreaths of smoke that curled up in such fanciful whirls from his heavy opium-tainted cigarette.
Which was the style at the time.
Oh, of course. "Not send it anywhere? My dear fellow, why? Have you any reason? What odd chaps you painters are! You do anything in the world to gain a reputation. As soon as you have one, you seem to want to throw it away. It is silly of you, for there is only one thing in the world worse than being talked about, and that is not being talked about. A portrait like this would set you far above all the young men in England, and make the old men quite jealous, if old men are ever capable of any emotion." Oh, look, repressing your emotions is as old as time.
Yeah, I feel like not much has changed.
Sadly.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting ready to get the guillotines again.
Yeah.
"I know you will laugh at me," he replied, "but I really can't exhibit it. I have put too much of myself in it." Lord Henry stretched himself out on the divan and laughed. "Yes, I knew you would, but it is quite true all the same." "Too much of yourself in it. Upon my word, Basil, I didn't know you were so vain, and I really can't see any resemblance between you, with your rugged, strong face and your coal-black hair, and this young Adonis, who looks as if he was made of ivory and rose leaves. Why, my dear Basil, he is a Narcissus." As in the Greek mythology, not
the
like Narcissus.
narcissist, but Narcissus, I guess.
Yes. Look, I'm from Philly. You can't get me to pronounce a T at the end of a sentence.
Fair.
Also, hell of an insult.
Yeah.
And of course you have... And you, well, of course you have an intellectual expression and all that. But beauty, real beauty, ends where an intellectual expression begins. Intellect is in itself a mode of exaggeration, and destroys the harmony of any face. The moment one sits down to think, one becomes all nose or all forehead or something horrid. Look at the successful men in any of the learned professions. How perfectly hideous they are. Except, of course, in the church. But then in the church, they don't think.
Damn.
I forgot about that. A bishop keeps on saying at the age of 80 what he was told to say when he was a boy of 18. And as a natural consequence, he always looks absolutely delightful. Your mysterious young friend, whose name you have never told me, but whose picture really fascinates me, never thinks. I feel quite sure of that. He is some brainless, beautiful creature, who should be always here in winter, when we have no flowers to look at, and always here in summer, when we want something to chill our intelligence. Don't flatter yourself, Basil. You are not in the least like him. You don't understand me, Harry. I don't know why I want to call him Henry.
Henry.
Answered the artist. Of course I am not like him. I know that perfectly well. Indeed, I should be sorry to look like him. You shrug your shoulders. I am telling you the truth. There is a fatality about all physical and intellectual distinction, the sort of fatality that seems to dog through history the faltering steps of kings. It is better not to be different from one's fellows. The ugly and the stupid have the best of it in this world. Wow. Okay, Rainbow Fish.
Yeah, these guys are very, very obsessed with each other's looks.
They can sit at their ease and gape at the play. If they know nothing of victory, they are at least spared the knowledge of defeat. They live as we all should live, undisturbed, indifferent, and without disquiet. They neither bring ruin upon others, nor ever receive it from alien hands. Your rank and wealth, Harry, my brains, such as they are, my art, whatever it may be worth, Dorian Gray's good looks, we shall all suffer for what the gods have given us. Suffer terribly.
Suffering.
Well, I mean, starving artist.
Yeah.
Except he is not starving. Dorian Gray. Is that his name? Asked Lord Henry, walking across the studio toward Basil Hallward. Yes, that is his name. I didn't intend to tell it to you. But why not? Oh, I can't explain. When I like people immensely, I never tell their names to anyone. It is like surrendering a part of them. I have grown to love secrecy. It seems to be the one thing that can make modern life mysterious or marvelous to us. The commonest thing is delightful if one only hides it. When I leave town now, I never tell my people where I am going. If I did, I would lose all my pleasure. It is a silly habit, I dare say, but somehow it seems to bring a great deal of romance into one's life. I suppose you think me awfully foolish about it.
Yes, I do, actually.
Oh, Kitty had enough?
Yep.
Not at all, answered Henry, Lord Henry. Because his name is Henry. His name has been written as both Harry and Henry in this.
They've just been switching?
Yes. I'm only 6 pages in.
And this is a special edition with extra notes.
With extra notes.
But no editing.
Apparently not. Not at all, my dear Basil. You seem to forget that I am married. And the one charm of marriage is that it makes a life of deception absolutely necessary for both parties. Great romance advice.
Yeah.
I never know where my wife is, and my wife never knows what I'm doing. When we meet, we do meet occasionally. When we dine out together, or go down to the Duke's, we tell each other the most absurd stories with the most serious faces. My wife is very good at it. Much better, in fact, than I am. She never gets confused over her dates, and I always do. But when she does find me out, she makes no row at all. I sometimes wish she would, but she merely laughs at me. There's a reason everyone had syphilis.
Yeah. People were not careful back then.
No. I hate the way you talk about your married life, Harry. Yeah, see? Basil calls him Harry.
Yeah.
I didn't think Harry was a nickname for Henry.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard that before, but...
Said Basil Hallward, whose name always has to be spelled out fully.
Mm-hmm.
Strolling toward the door that led into the garden. I believe that you are a very good husband, but that you are thoroughly ashamed of your own virtues. You are an extraordinary fellow. You never say a moral thing, and you never do a wrong thing. Your cynicism is simply a pose. Being natural is simply a pose, and the most irritating pose I know, cried Lord Henry, laughing, and the two young men went out into the garden together and ensconced themselves on a long bamboo seat that stood in the shade of a tall laurel bush. The sunlight slipped over the polished leaves. In the grass, white daisies were tremulous. After a pause, Lord Henry pulled out his watch. I am afraid I must be going, Basil, he murmured. And before I go, I insist on your answering a question I put to you some time ago. What is that? Said the painter, keeping his eyes fixed on the ground. You know quite well. I do not, Harry. Well, I will tell you what it is. I want you to explain to me why you won't exhibit Dorian Gray's picture. I want the real reason. I told you the real reason. No, you did not. You said it was because there was too much of yourself in it. Now that is childish. Harry, said Basil Hallward, looking him straight in the face, every portrait that is painted with feeling is a portrait of the artist, not of the sitter. The sitter is merely the accident, the occasion. It is not he who is revealed by the painter. It is rather the painter who, on the colored canvas, reveals himself. The reason I will not exhibit this picture is that I am afraid that I have shown in it the secret of my own soul. I will tell you, said Hallward, but in... Oh, sorry, that's still him. I will tell you, said Hallward, but an expression of perplexity came over his face. I am all expectation, Basil, continued his companion, glancing at him. Oh, there is very little to tell, Harry, answered the painter, and I am afraid you will hardly understand it. Perhaps you will hardly believe it. Lord Henry smiled and, leaning down, plucked a pink-petaled daisy from the grass and examined it. I am quite sure I shall understand it, he replied, gazing intently at the little golden-white feathered disc. And as for believing things, I can believe anything, provided that it is incredible. He pisses me off. He only gets worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm envious that... Or, no, that's wrong. I'm glad that I'm the one that's not reading.
Why is that? Oh!
Oh, I just got scratched in the face by a cat.
She doesn't like being picked up.
Aww. Anyway.
So why are you not envious?
Just the way a lot of, like, older writers write. It's very long-winded.
Yes.
And kind of self-important, self-aggrandizing, and just full of themselves, I guess.
Well, you're not wrong.
It's like, oh, look at me, I'm literate. Are you? Peasant.
Yeah. You should have heard my, 30 some odd episodes on Dracula. Alright. The wind shook some blossoms from the trees, and the heavy lilac blooms, with their clustering stars, moved to and fro in the languid air. A grasshopper began to chirrup by the wall, and like a blue thread, a long, thin dragonfly floated past on its own brown gauze wings. Lord Henry felt as if he could hear Basil Hallward's heart beating, and wondered what was coming. The story is simply this, said the painter after some time. 2 months ago, I went to a crush at Lady Brandon's, which is actually a crowded party.
A what party?
Crowded.
Crowded. Okay. I mean, crowd crush is generally a bad thing.
You know we poor artists have to show ourselves in society from time to time, just to remind the public that we are not savages. With an evening coat and a white tie, as you told me once, anybody, even a stockbroker, can gain a reputation for being civilized. So even back then, stockbrokers were considered uncivilized.
I don't think there was ever a time when stockbrokers were civilized.
Yes, and yet they're still held in such high esteem.
Not by me.
I didn't say by us. But culturally.
Yeah.
Well, after I had been in the room about 10 minutes, talking to huge overdressed dowagers and tedious academicians.
And what now?
Academics with extra letters. I suddenly became conscious that someone was looking at me. I turned halfway round and saw Dorian Gray for the first time. Start playing soft romantic music.
Yeah. Got it.
Oh, I wasn't actually. I mean, if you want to, but... When our eyes met, I felt that I was growing pale. A curious sensation of terror came over me. I knew that I had come face to face with someone whose mere personality was so fascinating that if I allowed it to do so, it would absorb my whole nature, my whole soul, my very art itself. I did not want any external influence in my life. You know yourself, Harry, how independent I am by nature. I have always been my own master, had at least always been so, till I met Dorian Gray. But I don't know how to explain it to you. Something seemed to tell me that I was on the verge of a terrible crisis in my life. Foreshadowing. I had a strange feeling that fate had in store for me exquisite joys and exquisite sorrows. I grew afraid and turned to quit the room. It was not conscience that made me do so. It was a sort of cowardice. I take no credit to myself for trying to escape. How long is this chapter for?
Couple more pages.
Conscience and cowardice are really the same things, Basil. Conscience is the trade name of the firm, that is all. I don't believe that, Harry, and I don't believe you do either. However, whatever was my motive, and it may have been pride, for I used to be very proud,
Used to be? Oh, dude.
They live in high society.
Uh-huh.
This is them being.
Yes, this is as humble as they're capable of being.
I certainly struggled to the door. There, of course, I stumbled against Lady Brandon. "You're not going to run away so soon, Mr. Hallward," she screamed out. You know her curiously shrill voice. "Yes, she is a peacock in everything but beauty," said Lord Henry, pulling the daisy to bits with his long, nervous fingers. "Well, I mean, it's the male peacocks that are pretty."
Yep. The females look much more plain.
Yeah, because they're meant to, hide the eggs.
Yep.
I could not get rid of her. She brought me up to royalties and people with stars and garters, which is an insignia of English knighthood, not undergarments.
I mean, given the author, you could be forgiven for getting confused.
Right. And elderly ladies with gigantic tiaras and parrot noses. Jesus.
Parrot noses. Wow.
I mean, I have totally described somebody like that. But still.
Yeah. Tell us how you really feel.
Actually, there was a music teacher that I absolutely loved.
Mm.
But she has such a peak. And she passed it on to her children.
Oh, those poor kids. Genetics is harsh.
Mm-hmm. But she's a wonderful person.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's important in the end.
Mm-hmm. She spoke of me as her dearest friend. I had only met her once before, and she took it into her head to lionize me. I believe some picture of mine had made a great success at the time. At least, had been chatted about in the penny newspapers, which is the 19th century standard of immortality. Suddenly, I found myself face to face with the young man whose personality had so strangely stirred me. It wasn't his personality, honey. You need to talk to someone to know their personality.
Mm-hmm.
We were quite close, almost touching. Our eyes met again. It was reckless of me, but I asked Lady Brandon to introduce me to him. Perhaps it was not so reckless after all. It was simply inevitable. We would have spoken to each other without any introduction. I am sure of that. Dorian told me so afterward. He, too, felt that we were destined to know each other. Also, I feel like a lot of the movie depictions of Dorian Gray has him being, ruggedly handsome type.
Mm-hmm.
Not, boyish, feminine dandy.
But I think the movies that were made were not really reading it as queer as people read it now.
Fair. But
so it was, the beauty standard of, a straight upper-class male.
okay, that's fine for now, but once we actually get into a description of him,
Mm-hmm.
he is very well described in here.
Mm-hmm.
With having, pale skin and beautiful blonde locks and ruby red lips, rose red lips, sorry. They get very descriptive about him being a dandy.
Yeah, hearing the
dandy
description, I'm picturing basically that that little prince guy that, does, like, the Victorian makeup.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And, like, dandy doesn't mean the same thing back then as it does now, but... It's
had a number of meanings over the years, I think.
Yeah. But it still describes someone of, like, very fashion forward and, like, foppish and...
Metrosexual.
Metrosexual, yes. Dorian told me so afterward. He, too, felt that we were destined to know each other. Ah, yes. And then Lord Henry got involved. And how did Lady Brandon describe this wonderful young man? Asked his companion. I know she goes in for giving a rapid précis of all her guests. I remember her bringing me up to a truculent and red-faced old gentleman, covered all over with orders and ribbons, and hissing into my ear, in a tragic whisper, which must have been perfectly audible to everybody in the room, the most astounding details. I simply fled. I like to figure out people for myself. But poor Lady Brandon treats her guests exactly as an auctioneer treats his goods. She either explains them entirely away or tells one everything about them except what one wants to know. Poor Lady Brandon, you are hard on her, Harry, said Hallward listlessly. My dear fellow, she tried to found a salon and only succeeded in opening a restaurant.
What's so bad about a restaurant? I like restaurants.
Yes, but a salon is supposed to be upper crusty and a place where, like, ladies can lounge and gossip.
Yep, not for...
just evening meal.
Mm-hmm.
How could I admire her? But tell me, what did she say about Mr. Dorian Gray? Oh, something like, charming boy, poor dear mother, and I absolutely inseparable. Quite forget what he does. Afraid he doesn't do anything. Oh, yes, he plays the piano, or is it the violin? Dear Mr. Gray! Neither of us could help laughing, and we became friends all at once. Laughter is not at all a bad beginning for a friendship, and it is far the best ending for one, said the young lord, plucking another daisy. Stop plucking daisies out of his garden. Hallward shook his head. You don't understand what friendship is, Harry, he murmured, or what enmity is, for that matter. You like everyone. That is to say, you are indifferent to everyone. How horribly unjust of you, cried Lord Henry, tilting his hat back and looking up at the little clouds that, like ravelled skeins of glossy white silk, were drifting across the hollow turquoise of the summer sky. Yes, horribly unjust of you. I make a great difference between people. I choose my friends for their good looks, my acquaintances for their good characters, and my enemies for their good intellects. A man cannot be too careful in the choice of his enemies. I have not got one who is a fool. They are all men of some intellectual power, and consequently they all appreciate me. Is that very vain of me? I think it is rather vain. At least he's self-aware.
Yeah.
I should think it was, Harry, but according to your category, I must be merely an acquaintance. My dear old Basil, you are much more than an acquaintance, and much less than a friend. A sort of brother, I suppose. Oh, brothers! I don't care for brothers. My elder brother won't die, and my younger brothers seem never to do anything else.
Wow.
Harry! Exclaimed Hallward, frowning. My dear fellow, I am not quite serious, but I can't help detesting my relations. Same. I suppose it comes from the fact that none of us can stand other people having the same faults as ourselves. I quite sympathize with the rage of the English democracy against what they call the vices of the upper orders. The masses feel that drunkenness, stupidity, and immorality should be their own special property, and that if any one of us makes an ass of himself, he is poaching of their preserves. When poor Southward got into the divorce court... Divorce court?
Divorce court.
Their indignation was quite magnificent, and yet I don't suppose that 10% of the proletariat live correctly. I suppose that is how it started off. Percent is not written as one word.
Well,
which makes sense, but...
Yeah, it's Old English.
Middle.
Middle.
Well, not even middle. This is still technically modern English.
Yeah.
It's just an older form of modern English.
Well, yeah. They might as well not be the same language once you get to, like, Middle English to modern English.
I can still read Middle English.
Mm-hmm.
I actually there were several books that I read as a kid that were Middle English.
Well, there's a lot of similarities between languages. There's plenty of, I saw a tweet in German, and I was able to intuit what Scheißhund meant.
Scheiße.
No, Scheißhund, like my shitty dog.
Oh, Scheißhund.
Scheißhund.
Two separate words. It sounded like Scheißen is what it sounded like you said.
They were trying to say my shit dog.
Right.
But...
Well, yes, Scheißhund would be shitty dog. I will need to remember to bring my index card out next time so I can keep track of where I'm at.
Oh, no worries.
Well, it helps me read better because I am dyslexic.
Yeah. I mean, I figure the more we do this, the more we'll get the workflow down.
Yeah. Live correctly. I don't agree with a single word that you have said, and what is more, Harry, I feel sure you don't either. He's very sure of how somebody else feels.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Henry stroked his pointed brown beard and tapped his toe of his patent leather boot with a tasseled ebony cane. How English you are, Basil. That is the second time you have made that observation. If one puts forward an idea to a true Englishman, always a rash thing to do, he never dreams of considering whether the idea is right or wrong. The only thing he considers of any importance is whether one believes it oneself. Now, the value of an idea has nothing whatsoever to do with the sincerity of the man who expresses it. Indeed, the probabilities are that the more insincere the man is, the more purely intellectual will be the idea. As in that case, it will not be colored by either his wants, his desires, or his prejudices. However, I don't propose to discuss politics, sociology, or metaphysics with you. I like persons better than principles, and I like persons with no principles better than anything else in the world. Tell me more about Mr. Dorian Gray. How often do you see him? Every day. I couldn't be happy if I didn't see him every day. He is absolutely necessary to me.
Absolutely necessary.
How extraordinary! I thought you would never care for anything but your art. He is all my art to me now, said the painter gravely. I sometimes think, Harry, that there are only two eras of any importance in the world's history. The first is the appearance of a new medium for art, and the second is the appearance of a new personality for art also. What the complexion of oil painting was to Venetians. The face of Antinous was to late Greek sculpture. And the face of Dorian Gray will someday be to me. It is not merely that I paint from him, draw from him, sketch from him. Of course I have done all that. But he is much more to me than a model or a sitter. I won't tell you that I am dissatisfied with what I have done of him, or that his beauty is such that art cannot express it. There is nothing that art cannot express. And I know that the work I have done, since I met Dorian Gray, is good work, is the best work of my life. But in some curious way, I wonder, will you understand me? His personality has suggested to me an entirely new manner in art, an entirely new mode of style. I see things differently. I think of them differently. Yes, you have lovely rose-colored glasses on now.
Mm-hmm.
I can now recreate life in a way that was hidden from me before. A dream of form and days of thought. Who was it that said that? I forget. But it is what Dorian Gray has been to me.
Thank you.
She is fully asleep.
Yep.
And dreaming.
I am glad the mic picks that up clearly.
I'm sure you want to sample it.
Oh, yeah. Never stop looking for samples.
I don't know where I was. You remember that landscape of mine for which Agnew offered me such a huge price, but which I would not part with? It is one of the best things I have ever done. And why is it so? Because while I was painting it, Dorian Gray sat beside me. Some subtle influence passed from him to me. And for the first time in my life, I saw in the plain woodland the wonder I had always looked for and always missed. Then why were you an artist?
Yeah, he seems very obsessed.
Oh, he is very obsessed.
Yeah. Foreshadowing.
Basil, this is extraordinary. I must see Dorian Gray. Hallward got up from the seat and walked up and down the garden. After some time he came back. Harry, he said, Dorian Gray is to me simply a motive in art. You might see nothing in him. I see everything in him. He is never more present in my work than when no image of him is there. He is a suggestion, as I have said, of a new manner. I find him in the curves of certain lines, in the loveliness of the subtleties of certain colors. That is all. Then why won't you exhibit his portrait? Asked Lord Henry. I just started to call him Lord Byron. Fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Because, without intending it, I have put into it some expression of all this curious artistic idolatry, of which, of course, I have never cared to speak to him. He knows nothing about it. He shall never know anything about it. But the world might guess it, and I will not bare my soul to their shallow prying eyes. My heart shall never be put under their microscope. There is too much of myself in the thing, Harry. Too much of myself. Poets are so scrupulous as you are not so scrupulous as you are. They know how useful passion is for publication. Nowadays, a broken heart will run to many editions. I hate them for it, cried Hallward. An artist should create beautiful things, but should put nothing of his own life into them. We live in an age when men treat art as if it were meant to be a form of autobiography. We have lost the abstract sense of beauty. Some day I will show the world what it is, and for that reason the world shall never see my portrait of Dorian Gray. I think you are wrong, Basil. I won't argue with you. It is only the intellectually lost who ever argue. Tell me, is Dorian Gray very fond of you? The painter considered for a few moments. He likes me, he answered after a pause. I know he likes me. Of course, I flatter him dreadfully. I find a strong pleasure in saying things to him that I know I shall be sorry for having said. As a rule, he is charming to me, and we sit in the studio and talk of 1,000 things. Now and then, however, he is horribly thoughtless, and seems to take a real delight in giving me pain. Then I feel, Harry, that I have given away my whole soul to someone who treats it as if a flower to put in his coat, a bit of decoration to charm his vanity, an ornament for a summer's day. Days in summer, Basil, are apt to linger, murmured Lord Henry. Perhaps you will tire soon than he will. It is a sad thing to think of, but there is no doubt that genius lasts longer than beauty. That accounts for the fact that we all take such pains to overeducate ourselves. In the wild struggle for existence, we want to have something that endures, and so we fill our minds with rubbish and facts, and in the silly hope of keeping our place. The thoroughly well-informed man, that is, the modern ideal, and the mind of the thoroughly well-informed man is a dreadful thing. It is like a bric-a-brac shop, all monsters and dust, with everything priced above its proper value. I mean, look at our current society.
Yeah.
I would say a lot of people's brains are bric-a-brac shops.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's not too different, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair.
Although I like to think of mine more as, you know, the warehouse that...
Yeah.
From Dreamcatcher.
Oh, mine's kind of like the Indiana Jones, like, yeah, where they keep all the ancient artifacts.
That's fair.
Yeah. I think the X-Files uses the same one. I'm not sure.
Probably. Whatever. Mine is a very dusty library. Proper value. I think you will tire first, all the same. Someday you will look at your friend, and he will seem to you to be a little out of drawing. Or you won't like his tone of color, or something. You will bitterly reproach him in your own heart, and seriously think that he has behaved very badly to you. The next time he calls, you will be perfectly cold and indifferent. It will be a great pity, for it will alter you. What you have told me is quite a romance of art, one might call it. And the worst of having a romance of any kind is that it leaves one so unromantic. Harry, don't talk like that. As long as I live, the personality of Dorian Gray will dominate me. You can't feel what I feel. You change too often. I need water.
Yep. No worries. It is some very, like, long-winded sentences.
Yes. Ah, my dear Basil, that is exactly why I can feel it. Those who are faithful know only the trivial side of love. It is the faithless who know love's tragedies. And Lord Henry struck a light on a dainty silver case and began to smoke a cigarette with a self-conscious and satisfied air, as if he had summed up the world in a phrase. You know, he talks about him being faithless, but both he and his wife are aware of it. They have an open relationship, as long as they keep it quiet.
Yeah, it seems like
That's the way most society relationships were.
They're enjoying having a little extra drama in their lives.
Yes. So if you have an open relationship, you're not really being faithless.
No. Only if you're sneaky.
Fair. I mean, there are rules, but in this case, they are meant to be sneaky. As if he had summed up the world in a phrase. There was a rustle of chirruping sparrows in the green lacquer leaves of the ivy, and the blue cloud shadows chased themselves across the grass like swallows. How pleasant it was in the garden, and how delightful other people's emotions were. Much more delightful than their ideas, it seemed to him. One's own soul, and the passions of one's friends, those were the fascinating things in life. He pictured to himself, with silent amusement, the tedious luncheon that he had missed by staying so long with Basil Hallward. Had he gone to his aunt's, he would have been sure to have met Lord Goodbody there, and the whole conversation would have been about feeding the poor and the necessity for model lodging houses. Oh, no.
Sounds like socialism to me.
God forbid we help those people that don't have the money we have.
No, I feel like these people, their main goal in life is just to be snarky to each other.
100%. Each class would have preached the importance of those virtues for whose exercise there was no necessity in their own lives. The rich would have spoken on the value of thrift, and the idle grown eloquent over the dignity of labor. It was charming to have escaped all that. As he thought of his aunt, an idea seemed to strike him. He turned to Hallward and remembered. "My dear fellow, I have just remembered." "Remembered what, Harry?" "Where I heard the name Dorian Gray." "Where was it?" asked Hallward, with a slight frown. "Don't look so angry, Basil. It was at my Aunt Lady Agatha's. She told me she had discovered a wonderful young man who was going to help her in the East End, and that his name was Dorian Gray. I am bound to state that she never told me he was good-looking. Women have no appreciation of good looks. At least, good women have not. Please."
Oh, these guys.
She said that he was very earnest and had a beautiful nature. I at once pictured to myself a creature with spectacles and lank hair, horribly freckled and tramping about on huge feet. I wish I had known it was your friend." "I'm very glad you didn't, Harry." "Why?" "I don't want you to meet him." "You don't want me to meet him?" "No." "Mr. Dorian Gray is in the studio, sir," said the butler, coming into the garden. "You must introduce me now," cried Lord Henry, laughing. And for those of you who don't know, East End is obviously the poor section of town in London. The painter turned to his servant, who stood blinking in the sunlight. "Ask Mr. Gray to wait, Parker. I shall be in a few moments." The man bowed and went up the walk. Then he looked at Lord Henry. "Dorian Gray is my dearest friend," he said. "He has a simple and beautiful nature. Your aunt was quite right in what she said of him. Don't spoil him. Don't try to influence him. Your influence would be bad. The world is wide and has many marvelous people in it. Don't take away from me the one person who gives to my art whatever charm it possesses. My life as an artist depends on him. Mind, Harry, I trust you." He spoke very slowly, and the words seemed wrung out of him almost against his will. "What nonsense you talk," said Lord Henry, smiling, and, taking Hallward by the arm, he almost led him into the house. And that is the end of chapter 1.
All right.
So, all the podcasty stuff, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, yada yada. If you liked it, please do the thing. If you didn't like it, maybe subject it on somebody that you're mad at.
Send it to someone you hate.
Yeah. Give us a little boost.
Make them suffer.
All right. Thank you all for bearing with us and listening, and have a wonderful day.
All right.